So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're at Manchester United. We scored against Man United. Relegated them. That's good news in my books. So leave that in the comments. And here's Man United behind you. There's two of that icon section. George Best and Moore.
Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton and George Best. So, guys, what do you think of that? Oh, it's already there for you. Best for Charlton. And here's a wall here, look. I've got history there.
Bit of Sir Matt Busby.
Good go, as I say.
Funny feeling this guy won't be making history.
Ronaldo, what's your opinions on Ronaldo's return? Was he a good purchase or was he not? No, so what do you think? Is it debatable? Do you think he's worth coming back, or do you think?
Shouldn't have signed him, in my view.
Yeah, I think he would have been better off staying at Juve. He's only here for the P, in my opinion.
Sold a lot of shirts though.
Yeah, because he's one of the GOATs. But who do you prefer, Messi or Ronaldo? Leave it in the comments. I will tell you my opinion, but it's YouTube. I'll let you guys put it in the comments. So here they are, 2.2. Tasty water and stuff.
That's Manchester for you.
That's Manchester for you. If it's not raining, it's not raining. So I'll take you to the next part. So guys, here's Old Trafford.
Okay, as I said before, if you want to carry on taking your photographs, please do so. If you have a look back at the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, you'll see the three levels I was referring to earlier on. And if you're in what we call the top tier or top row of that top tier, you'd be about 54 metres above the ground. Equivalent to being around about the 12th floor of a hotel. You can see a group currently leaving the S in Manchester. That's where you were sat when we first came into the stadium. Now the section we're on at the moment is used on a match day by our wheelchair supporters. Each one of those could bring along somebody to help them during the game, so that's obviously what the seats are for, with the wheelchair having the space and the helper having the seat next to them. Now over the last couple of years we have increased the available spaces for our wheelchair supporters, but not in this section here. So behind you, for example, behind the glass at the top, is a brand new area for wheelchair supporters. The section right at the end, at the other end of the Sir Bobby Charlton stand, and then right at the top of the Stretford end, the whole of the width of the Stretford end again is for wheelchair supporters. Because what we did outside the stadium, we built two new lifts allowing our wheelchair supporters and their helpers exclusive access to get to the top of the Stretford end, where they will obviously get a great view of the game and be part of the Stretford end atmosphere. Now we also have behind me the 26 reclining partially sighted supporters, who again can again bring along something to help them on match day. But when they arrive at the stadium, they will receive headphones through which they will get full ball-by-ball match commentary. Now the area of seating behind you is used on a match day by our visiting supporters. So we have the safe standing area to my right hand side for visiting supporters, all the way around to the green matting on the left hand side. That's where the Spurs fans will be tomorrow afternoon. Next Tuesday we play a European game. The allocation for the European matches is slightly higher than a Premier League game, so that temporary fence there will be extended a little further to probably behind the goal area. If we're having a home domestic cup competition like the FA Cup, for example, it can be as many as 9,000 visiting supporters can have tickets, in which case they will also have the top level of the stands there. Now just above the safe standing area there, that box jutting out from the roof with the lights on the bottom, that's our stadium control room. And 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. And I mentioned earlier on that supporters will have a QR code on their ticket allowing them to enter the stadium. As they do that, that number will be recorded in there. We therefore know exactly how many supporters are inside the stadium at any one time. And if we have a problem and we need to evacuate, we have a safety certificate from our local council that states we can do so from full in less than 10 minutes. We're now going to make our way to the dressing room, as I mentioned earlier on, but don't worry, we will be out of the stadium on other occasions later on in the tour to allow you to take photographs from different other views. For now though, if you ask you to make your way this way, thank you.
Just keep on consent.
Just do different bits. You don't have to do
Come on, folks. Let people come back up against the barrier. Come on, guys. Like one photograph each. Thank you. Okay, what's the queue to take photographs? I'm telling you all about the tunnel itself. So, it's been in use since 1993. It wasn't actually built with the way in mind. Go back to 1989, we had the Hillsborough disaster, where many Liverpool supporters lost their lives.
Good view, guys.
Sommigen hebben we zelf te maken met steden. Dit moet echt wel.
Had to have access for emergency vehicles to get from outside the stadium onto the pitch if there was a problem. We didn't have that sort of access, which is why this tunnel was built. So the doors to your right on the sections of the ceiling can be fully opened. The section here is surrounded by yellow, can be lifted 25 feet in the air. The tunnel canopy is on wheels, can easily be removed, allowing those vehicles to get through. These large boards behind me would usually be for sponsors' names. This is where the television interviews would normally take place after the game. Perhaps on UTV, Manchester United's own TV company, BBC and the host broadcaster. Currently those are being taking place on the side of the pitch. Hopefully soon they'll be back in here. The two plaques on the wall here I want to briefly mention. John Henry Davis on the red wall rescued a club that had originally been formed in 1878 on Newton Heath. But by 1902 was struggling financially. John Henry Davis was a successful local businessman, stepped in, rescued the club, renamed as Manchester United. 1931 we were almost bankrupt. This time we gave it again. Another successful local businessman stepped in. James Gibson did many other things for both this club and others. Just two things I briefly want to mention. First of all, at the end of the Second World War, we brought Matt Busby to become our new manager, later Sir Matt. And then earlier on in the early 1930s, he thought of the idea of bringing youngsters through to the club to start them playing for Manchester United at an early age, to eventually get through to the first team. And since October 1937, every Manchester United first team game has included within the matchday squad at least one player who has come through the academy. In fact, this last Wednesday evening, our youth team played in the FA Youth Cup semi-final, beating Wolves in that semi-final, getting them through to the final.
Hallo!
No.
You're at boss.
Okay, again, please carry on taking your photographs, but as I say, these are the two games where the manager and the substitute sit during the game, and I'm obviously going to talk about the Manchester United side, because the visiting team manager can organise the seating on that one. Now, from Sir Alex Ferguson all the way through to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all our managers apart from one used to sit on the back row. In fact, second seat in from the left on that back row was their preferred seat. The exception was Jose Mourinho, who spent more of his time in what we call the technical area here, and when he did sit down he had the first seat on the front row. Now, since Ole left, Michael Carrick for one game, Ralph Rangnick since, spent more of the time in this section down here, but the back row for when they want to sit down is still used by the coaching staff, middle and front row therefore used by the substitutes. Now, I said that John Henry Davis rescued us in 1902. Several years later he bought this land, he hired an architect, and in February 1910 Manchester United played their first game here. So in February 2010 we celebrated 100 years of Old Trafford, and in the middle there you can see that there is a plaque to remember that, but also below that plaque is a time capsule with various items representing the first 100 years of our history. Now, unfortunately, during the Second World War, many bombs fell in this area, including in 1940 and 1941 on the stadium itself. So much so that after the war had finished until 1949, Manchester United had to play their home games at the ground that was at the time used by our neighbours Manchester City, Crown Colmade Road. But coming back here, removing the rubble, we found the walls of this centre tunnel that you've just walked down. It's all that is left of the original stadium. And what the architects of the new stadium wanted to do was to knock those walls down, start again from flat. But James Gibson and his fellow directors said no, that's part of our history. It's been there since 1910, it will stay there. You have to build a new stadium around it. That's exactly obviously what was done and used by players up until 1993. If you have a look at the pitch behind me, it's a special type of pitch called a Desso pitch. 97% real grass, 3% nylon fibre. Now, the nylon fibres are buried deep below the surface, about 8 to 10 inches below the surface, in literally millions of small holes. They were then filled with grass seed, so the roots of the grass grow round the nylon fibre, making the pitch extremely hard wearing. I said to you there was a game here on Wednesday evening, obviously still looks perfect now. And at the end of last season, our ground staff were actually given for the 4th time in the last 6 years the Premier League Pitch of the Season award. Just excuse me a second.
Guys, that's it, end of the tour of Manchester. As you know, it's Manchester, it's raining. So, as you can see, at the end of our Man U tour, I wasn't impressed really. I felt rushed around a bit. I didn't get a minute to do stuff what we really needed to do, in my opinion. That's about it really.
Steeped in history.
Yeah, steeped in history, that's about it. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, anyone around. This is the Manchester Assaulted. Sweet.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, Sir Alex Ferguson. If you know him, leave it in the comments. There he's there, look. A legend to the club. Don't forget to give this like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Blah blah blah.